Well, welcome to the live stream. Happy to have whoever is watching here. Just going to get some things up and running. Get the macros. Go back here. Okay. Whoa. Macros working. Macros working. Macros working. Yeah. Macros are working, so that's good news. Yes. It's like an Elgato Stream Deck going on right now. Have to reacquaint myself with this. 3 people watching. Welcome, people, to the live stream. Happy to have you here. Let's get the show on the road. First, need to change up some resolutions because I was testing something with some friends of mine earlier today. Gonna be doing something pretty interesting soon. Encoding overloaded. What's wrong? What's wrong, OBS? It's probably this profile that I need to change. No, it should be fine. Yeah, should be okay. Encoding should not be overloaded. How much CPU is this using? I think it's okay. Let's change this to 17. Okay. Get that desktop audio kicked back in. Okay, well, it says overloaded, but I'm seeing 60 FPS, so I think we're okay. Yeah, let's set new fastest lap time on a track that I made. It's 14. What am I saying? 14 minutes. Oh yeah, that's what I have to change. Yeah, that's what I have to change. Those are the settings. Let's go down to video. Frame rate 60. Full screen on. Yeah, sure. 1920 by 1080. Dynamic on. Needs a restart. Okay, great. Let's hop over to cam only. And let's do this restart. Yeah. Happy to have everyone here. Forza should be starting up shortly. Gonna mute that desktop audio. If I don't, everyone's gonna go deaf. But something that I have developed within the last week is the use of this. It's called a keyboard, and you've probably seen it before. You probably have one yourself. Except this keyboard is not my main keyboard. If you've seen my main keyboard, you probably haven't. It's a RGB keyboard. This one is not. It's just a normal Dell keyboard. Now, what I'm using this one for is I've got these macros set up, so when I press a button on this, something changes on OBS. So if I do like a quick, well, first I click on OBS and then bang, I'm able to use this to easily go from position to position. So yeah, it's something that I was able to set up, and I'm pretty proud of it. Pretty happy about how it's set up. Yeah, so I was able to get that going. Additionally, I was able to get something that should be coming to the channel soon, going with a few of my friends. It's a that's 3. So it's a 4-legged race, basically. And that's weird. Normally we know 3-legged race. But this is a 4-legged race. So basically the way it works is you've got, I am using a program called Parsec. And I wish I was sponsored by them. Unfortunately, I'm not. But it's the program called Parsec. And so my friends, two of my friends, connect to my computer, and let's say we're playing Forza. So welcome, two more people watching this stream. Glad to have you here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So let's say we're playing Forza. So in that case, I would control the gas, or I would control the steering. One of my friends would control the gas. One of my friends would control the brake. So there's three of us trying to do this thing with latency included, with a decreased frame rate on their end included. So yeah, that's basically what I've been able to do. And we tested Forza, we tested Battlefront 2, we tested Minecraft. We're going to test World of Warships tomorrow, and we're going to see how that all turns out. So let me know if you'd like to see that on the channel. I'm probably going to put it up anyway, but it's something that I'm quite excited to put up. Live stream form, video form, whatever it is. I'm pretty excited to put it up. Now, let's go back to this race. This race, my fastest lap is an 11-minute 56-second lap, and it's long. It's 32 kilometers long, and yes, those are the settings I want. It's 32 kilometers long, 20.1 miles. And I'm using this car, the Radical RXC. This thing has the full beans on it. It's got every single upgrade imaginable on it. The top speed is absolutely insane. That's the new TVR there. And I didn't actually know that that was in this game. But seeing as I've been punted off the side, and I can't rewind anymore. I may as well just go back. But yeah, it's a really long race, and I've picked the Radical RXC because it's pretty similar, but just more powerful, and it has higher top speed than the KTM Expo GT4, which you were able to unlock in this game last week by completing the seasonal playlist of challenges and objectives. And if you were able to do that, you would have gotten the KTM Expo GT4. But this car I simply purchased with my own credits. Speaking of credits, I've been able to use the Porsche 911 3.0 exploit, which I don't know how many people know about it, but it's not too extensive, but it's really effective. Now, the KTM Expo GT4, the difference between this car and that one is that this is more squirrely in the edges, and the top speed is higher. So I have kitted this out all the way. This does go 260 miles an hour if there's enough distance. And so, yeah, it's really fast through the corners. It's really fast on the straights. The brakes are absolutely amazing. The downforce is great too. And I'm going to pass that TVR. Yeah, let me talk about the track a little, because you're probably wondering why I did not take that racing line. This track was designed by me, and the way you make tracks in this game is you simply drive. So I drove in my Subaru along the racing line that you see right now is where I drove in my Subaru. So it's exactly, like, the positioning is exactly where I was. That's the fastest exit I've ever had out of the roundabout, exactly where I was driving. Now, the AI follow the racing line. They don't actually follow the most efficient route, regardless of where the racing line is. So I know, because I've driven on this track 15, maybe 20 times, trying to fiddle with the tuning of the car, trying to fiddle with the lap times, as I experience huge frame drops there, which allow me to lose control of the car. I've raced this track many times, so I know the corners. and because I know the corners, I know when to put the power down, but the AI doesn't. It's like each time they approach this track, there's a complete factory reset of their memory. So I have these subliminal checkpoints, if you could call them that, that I know at this point in the race I should reach this far in. It's a garbage corner. Yeah, I know at certain points in the race I should be at this time in the race so far. So that allows me to fine-tune my times, get even faster times. My first lap time on this was a 14:46, and I've been able to put that down all the way to a 11:56. So almost 3 minutes faster, which is staggering. And I'm quite happy about that, quite happy that I've been able to fiddle with the times. I've done this, I've attempted this race in 3 different cars. The first one was my Subaru, and that's what I set the 14:46 in. The top speed is maybe 210, 215 miles an hour. That's why, see, there's the evidence of the AI following the racing line and just being absolutely bonkers. Also, this is on unbeatable difficulty. The point of making this track was to try and beat the AI and give myself an advantage at times over the AI. Try and beat the AI on unbeatable difficulty in a track that combines all aspects of the map. You've got your off-road or your dirt racing here. Now we're going to the cross-country or the off-road section. There was some road racing going through Edinburgh at the start. There will be some road racing later. There's some drag racing, got complete straight line speed here. Not here. Later on, though, at around the how far in is it? At around the 11-minute mark. But yeah, this part of the track is where the AI slows down the most, because they have to go over these rocks and actually hit the checkpoints. You'll see that guy right ahead of me missed the last checkpoint, so he's going to be teleported by the game back. But because I know this track and I know where to put the power down and where to go, it's still unpredictable because I haven't perfectly memorized where all the rocks are. I just have a general idea of where the rocks are. This is the spot where I'm able to gain an advantage over the AI. Now, the goal that I've set here is to reach this checkpoint at the start of the tunnel at around the 4-minute 30-second or 4-minute 45-second mark. Somewhere within that interval, I really should reach it. And before I should exit the tunnel by the 5-minute mark, and the 5-minute mark hasn't even hit. And these times that I'm saying, it's in terms of the time, not the lap time. And you could see those times in the top left. The lap time is when I pass the finish line, because in the unbeatable difficulty, the game starts me all the way at the back of the grid, rather than if it's above average difficulty, it starts you in 8th place. If it's new racer difficulty, it starts you in 4th place. So as you can see, the AI is quite far behind me. Still, they're trying to get through the checkpoints, but because they're still stuck there, I'm able to get a bit of a lead for myself. And now we're back on the road. So here's that road racing portion of it. So this is basically just a big race to see how good of a racer I am. And later on, the next checkpoint, later on though, the next checkpoint will be 1.3 miles from the previous one. And there is a racing line there, yes. It's not the most direct route though. So I may be going through the trees. The AI will be going on the road, because that's how I set the racing line originally in my Subaru when I made the track. So yeah, I'm quite proud of this map. But I also try to set the fastest lap time that I can here. and everything has to be precise. Like the angle of this, the exit needs to be a little to the left so that you can actually hit the checkpoint, and the racing line goes right into the trees there, but I have to cut the corner, slow down here at the 6:46 mark, past that checkpoint, and I know that at the next checkpoint, right at this little stretch of water, it should be before the 7-minute mark, and it is successfully. And I think this is the final checkpoint. Yes. So the next checkpoint is 1.8 miles away. So this is a test of my own efficiency right now. How efficient can I be? How quickly can I get to the destination, or rather the next checkpoint? And I do have rewinding on, so I am able to dodge those trees with hindsight in order to get the most efficient time. So the AI has to follow the racing line, go through there, maybe be slowed down by the fences, slowed down by the water, while I can just go wherever, and there's no real detriment because I'm not really missing any checkpoints. So I just drive wherever. Now I am being slowed down a little by the fences there and by the walls, and maybe I might hit a tree. I haven't actually had any huge hits with trees yet, and just as I say that, wow, I missed the trees. Nothing. Now my fastest time in this section was to hit the next checkpoint at the 8-minute mark. It's well past the 8-minute mark. It's around the 8:10 mark now, and I'm not even there yet. So this won't be my fastest time, but I'm still able to enjoy the track. There's my first hit with a tree, and the car is relatively in good shape, but I'm not looking to get the least amount of damage. And I missed a checkpoint. So there's that checkpoint. There's that next checkpoint that I have to hit. In this case, I would have to slow down, not hit the tree, which means I need to angle a little to the left. So I'm going to steer all the way to the left, get over this, slow down quite a bit to actually reach the next checkpoint, and I'm significantly slower than my fastest lap. In my fastest lap, I reached the checkpoint 2 checkpoints ago, before the 8-minute mark at around the 7:57 mark, and I reached that checkpoint at the water, if you remember it, at the I reached it at the 6:30 or the 6:25 mark. So a significant loss in time here. Now, the racing line does go through the trees, which means that the AI is going to have to deal with the trees, and they can't do all that rewinding stuff. The game just takes them back. So they do slow down quite a bit. I didn't necessarily need to rewind there, but it's always good to have a second look at where the car is going so that I can fine-tune my trajectory. Now back on the road here, trying to get that the power down as much as possible. This car goes fastest on the road rather than off of it. It also goes faster when it doesn't hit trees, because trees decrease your speed to 0 or a little above 0, depending on how you hit it. Now, the next checkpoint, usually I aim to hit that before the 10-minute mark. It's the 9:31 right there, before I hit the tree. But it's always tough to get it. I think on my fastest lap, like this is the part that slows me down the most, because I'm not taking that racing line. It's not the most, it's not the most efficient route, the racing line. It's just the route of the track. I may as well just do a second rewind, and then just slow down here and continue on the road, and then take a right-hander somewhere else. So yeah, the racing line is not necessarily the most efficient route. On game-generated tracks, it is the most efficient route, and it's the route that the AI chooses to take. But I'm not the AI. I have a non-artificial intelligence, so I drive. I drive wherever I please. So yeah, it's not just a test of the AI, see how well they drive, but it's a test of my efficiency as well. How efficient can I be getting from point A to point B? How can I cut the corner, basically, and where am I going to cut that corner? So this is a slower lap by quite a bit. Yeah, the checkpoint after the one that's coming, I hit at the 10:20 mark. We're at the 10:15 mark right now, and I haven't even hit the checkpoint that's before that one. So this will be a slower lap, but that's okay. This is just my practice lap for today. Now, we're still not even done this. I set a 11:56. We're at the 10:32, which means that in 1 minute, I would have finished. Now, this is an insanely fast car, and once we do get to the highway, which we're going to get to shortly, you will be able to see how quick it actually is in a straight line. Now, when we do get to the highway, there is one thing that I've said to myself that I'm going to do that the AI won't do because I can't program the AI. I can only program where they go. Well, they're not going to hit the next checkpoint. The checkpoint after this one. Oh, wow, thanks. But yeah, there's something that I've told the road is there. I wasn't looking at the minimap. There's something that I've told myself to do, and that is at the next checkpoint, I'm going to completely come to a halt, and I'm going to do a burnout. Now, the AI is not doing this, but this is something to give the AI a bit of an advantage. Now, I'm going to pass this Ferrari F50, goodbye, and now we're going to do a bit of a top speed test. Now, I am in 5th place right now. There's 2 AI going neck and neck right at the front, and I'm still going to pass these 2, going to 3rd, because that's how much faster I am, and that's how much more downforce I have going through there. Now, right here, we're gonna brake. We're gonna brake. And in terms of lap time, that's past my fastest lap. So at this point, I would have been done already. Mainly, it's that section on the mountain with all those rocks where I have to tumble over those. It's mainly that section where I lose the most amount of time, and also that big section where I have to cut through the forest leading up to the seaside and the bridge. Now, it does not look like I'm going to get... why did it say second before I passed the guy? It does not look like I'm going to get a first place... It does look like I'm going to get a first place finish. Forget what I said. With a time of 12:30 something. It's a time of 12:35, so that's pretty good. So that's the track. It's just a test of the AI, how good it really is going around that track. How efficient can I be? So now I'm going to try and set an even faster lap. Lotus 211 from 2009. The 311, in my opinion, was quite better. It's a car I do actually have there as well. So let's change this a little. Yeah, let's decrease the load on the GPU. Additionally, doing that race gets me 54,000 credits and around 30,000 influence. The influence increases my level, which is why I've been able, within almost a week, to get from level 90 to level 165. No joke. It's been absolutely insane. But let's try that again. I'm going to try and set an even faster time. If you do want to play this, what's the share code? If you do want to play this and you do have Forza Horizon 4, if you don't have it, you can buy it. I don't know if it's $80 or $40. I got it when it was $40 2-3 weeks ago. But that's the share code. You can play it if you want. It's anything goes, so you can pick any car. Now, I'm going to pick a car that I enjoy driving this track on more, because I know how to control it better. The KTM Expo GT4. Now this thing, when it's going in a straight line, completely floored, that back end dips because I've set the aerodynamics to have more downforce on the back, so that it has a higher top speed. Like hunkering the car lower, so there's way too much headroom here. So hunkering the car lower, which means that the air doesn't pass under it as much, it passes over it, which pushes it down even more. So that back, you'll see here, the rear is all the way towards speed, which means that it hunkers down quite a bit. But I'm going to decrease the downforce, I'm going to decrease the downforce on the front to try and get a higher top speed, because that's just where this car is lacking in comparison to the Radical. Now, I've done the race with this car so many times. I've done it with this car the most, and I've won it every time except for twice, and that's the first 2 times I was doing it. You can already see that the back of the car is, well, what is widely called clipping into the ground. It's basically going into the ground, and in real life that wouldn't happen. You would already have the sparks flying now. But yeah, it's clipping into the ground. Now, when I do go faster in that straight line, you will see, and you'll hear as well, that it will just dip, and you'll see those sparks going. Oh, there was a bit of it. On the corners, the body roll is absolutely insane, but I don't want to try to change anything with those anti-roll bars just yet. So yeah, it is sitting, it's squatting right there in the back, and that's to achieve a higher top speed. So right now on the downhill, we're hitting 235 is the highest I think I've seen it go, but this is a lighter car than the Radical. Because it's more track focused, the inside is completely empty. There's absolutely nothing inside of it. It's just all carbon fiber. It's a really nice interior as well. But yeah, I've also given it a weird paint job. But I can take this corner flat out. I could take it in the Radical as well, but I didn't want to in the practice lap. Now, going towards this roundabout, this is something I didn't say last time because I was just giving an intro to the track. Going around this roundabout, there's a specific route that you need to take that the AI doesn't, because they take the racing line. There's a specific route that you need to take in order to go around or through the roundabout. So I figured out what that specific route is, what the angle is at the racing line. In comparison to the racing line, I figured out what that angle is so that I could exactly blitz through it, go in between some trees, and not hit the trees. Yeah, OBS is dropping some frames because I am trying to stream at 60 FPS, but at 720p. But that is all right. Another thing that I put on this car that did greatly improve its performance, because I had a 1226. With this, I had a 1230, and then I had a 1226, and then I brought it down to 1159. My 1159 time was in this car. My 1156 was in the Radical. Something that greatly improved the performance of this car was rally springs and dampers, and what those allowed the car to do was travel along off-road, along non-road areas better, because it's able to absorb more shock. So it's able to have a smoother ride and still put that power out without losing the grip on the ground. So here is where those springs and dampers really shine. My attentiveness doesn't. But you can see that there's space in between the fender and the top of the tire. That's because of those rally springs and dampers. If I put the track springs and dampers on, this section of the track would be slower because of the lowered ride height and the lowered ride height, yes, it does give it an increased top speed at the cost of, well, actually costs more in the game to put the track springs and dampers, or the drift springs and dampers. I don't think this has drift. I think it only has track. But yeah, at the cost of off-road speed and agility. So this is the part of the map where I lose the most time. I already lost 8 seconds at the previous checkpoint compared to my goal, which is my fastest time. So the angles need to be right here. The speed needs to be right, so I don't, go into some cataclysmic fireball. I don't know how I did not hit the checkpoint there. Still didn't hit it. Let's do one more rewind. Okay. But yeah, I don't want to end up in a cataclysmic fireball. So I need to hit all these angles right at the right speed, not flip over, and actually stay flipped over, because then the game will, the screen will fade to black. The game will do that, not my computer. My computer's fine. It will fade to black and then respawn you, which is what happens if the AI were players. That's what would happen to them. So yeah, I want to avoid that, and this game's respawn system is something that the community really hates. Because of that, if you're tipped over for half a second, it will respawn you and you will lose time. So that's something I want to avoid, which is why I do all the rewinding here, so that I don't have that horrible time. If I turn rewind off, my time would be absolutely horrible. But I've hit this at the 4:46 mark, which is a second slower than the slowest end of that interval where I want to enter the tunnel. I hit it before the 5-minute mark, but still, that's a slow time on my end. So it does not look like I'll be really setting up any fastest times, unless I don't talk, and I don't lose frames here, because it's the frames that allow me to have focus, to have a sense of focus in this case, to be able to not lose it. Yeah. So in this water, I do get slowed down to 30 miles an hour, 30, 35, somewhere there. And on this, I figured out that if I exit on the right, the slope is not as steep, is not as aggressive as it is on the left. So I'm able to exit faster. Now this part, it just floor it through here on the corner. I can still floor it. The racing line says red, because that's what it recommends, and that's what the AI is going to do, unless they completely cannonball it through the racing line like what I'm doing. Now this part is a little finicky, because there are some rocks on the side, which I almost hit. If I do hit those, I'm bound to flip over or simply fly to another dimension, and I really don't want to do that. Nor do I want to hit any lampposts, which will slow me down as well. I want to do as much late braking as possible and put the power down as quickly as I can. Also, something that you need for this race is all-wheel drive. If you don't have all-wheel drive, power will not be put down fast enough so that you're able to take a corner. Because this is off-road, so you need that all-wheel drive to give you the stability that you need going through corners. Now, remember how here my target was 7 minutes? Well, I hit it at 6:52, 6:53, somewhere there. So that was pretty good. It's not a horrible speed. Don't want to be hitting walls, though. I want to be having frames high enough so that I can actually see what's going on and steer around the trees. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. At least until this part of the map where I can floor it for some time. And what really helps is seeing where the branches are, where the leaves are. If there are leaves, if there are branches, that gives you a pretty good clue as to where the tree is. Now, if you're like me and you do that, you're just done for. Unless you rewind. Now, if I do turn rewinding off, again, as I said, my time's going to be abysmal, but I will have a more real time, if you could. Whoa. Some interesting physics. That was a wood gate that slowed me down compared to the stone that didn't slow me down as much as the wood. Yes, the rewind. That's what I was saying. So if I have rewind off, then my time will be slower. It will be a more honest time, but it will be slower. And I don't think the experience will be as enjoyable as it normally is. Those rocks slowed me down a lot more than they needed to. Yeah, for people watching, if you're watching right now, and you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed, or you've seen these videos before and you're really wondering what this channel is about, this is what it's about. Playing video games and having fun. But yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're not already, so that you're up to date with all the new content that arrives each week. And yeah, happy to have you here and happy to have you watching. So it's the 8:20 mark, passing this checkpoint, which is a lot slower than it really should be, but that's okay. I'm going to just not talk the next lap, which is kind of hard for me to do. But yeah, I'm just not going to talk for the next lap. I'm not going to talk. I just want to explain myself here why I'm not taking the road. I've found that in some laps, taking this route has been faster. Until you see that point on the mini map where the racing line and the road kind of join together. At that point, you can see it there in the mini map on the bottom left. At that point, that's where I aim to get back on the road. And what handicaps me a little, I would say, is that the mini map zooms out when you're in the forest or off road. So that doesn't really allow me to see where the road is very easily. Bobby Losman, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your surname. Please forgive me for that. It's been a long day on my end. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for all that new stuff. But yeah, happy to have you here. Happy to have you watching. Yeah. Welcome to the live stream. And I'm glad that you're here. Wow. Actually, pretty good move there. Weaving in between. I want to hit that 10-minute mark, but I'm not going to. But it won't be as slow as last time. Yo, can I join so we can drag race? I don't think I'll be able to today. Actually, yes, should be able to. Actually, I'm not too sure. I will communicate with you, so that we're able to do that. Hopefully on the live stream at a later time. But you can find me on Instagram at BlockThief, and you can send me a message there. If you don't have Instagram, if you've got Discord, you can message me. You can send me a friend request. I'm dash, capital U, capital E, dash, BlockThief. That's capital B and capital T-I before E. And then my number is 25565. That's the port that everything is forwarded to on Minecraft servers. I'll find it. But if you do have Instagram, make sure you follow me for all the latest updates on when the streams happen. So this is not a horrible lap. It's not slow, but it's not fast either. But yeah, gonna do that burnout, and this time I am ahead of the AI. but the top speed is not as high. This thing does have 1,212 horsepower, so it's pretty fast. It's really fast. There's that back end squatting. The understeer is non-existent, but yeah, you can hear that engine going. No spoiler, but the aerodynamic effect still exists because that's how this game rolls, like my tires do. But yeah, that's the 1156 mark. That's the 1156 mark, and at this time I would have finished the race already. But that's like weird. So yeah, like that's just fast. That's insanely fast. But yeah, let's brake. This thing does have turbos, so you can hear those working when I lift. And you can also see that on the boost here. On the left, you can see that boost. That's from the turbos. Pretty sure that's from the turbos. So my time here, I'm going to set a 12:34, which is pretty sure a second faster than the previous lap time. But yeah, wow, big frame drop there. But yeah, 54,692 credits, and a level up. 180,000 credits, almost 7 million credits. Okay, let's do a silent lap. Let's do a silent lap. Try and be as fast as I can. I'll take the radical. I was thinking about taking the Mosler out, but that means I would have to make some edits to it, which would kill the top speed. So yeah, Reliant Supervan. I'm not going to drive with that though. Radical RXC Turbo. Let's actually change some settings here. Output streaming. Let's go 19. Psychovisual tuning. Does this cost the GPU? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's see how this goes. May as well just close HID macros. And that brings me back there. May as well close that and see how the performance is. Tune car. We can decrease the tire pressure just a little. Gearing a little more. 262. Okay. So this is a pretty short gear. That kills it a little. Okay. Alignment. We'll keep it at 2. Anti-roll bars. That's okay. Let's start this, and I'm not going to talk. Have fun. I'm sorry. That RS200 completely destroyed me. Let's start that again. Round 2. It's gonna go around the left. Lost it on the corner. Oh, losing it there. I'll talk during the rewinds, not during the driving. Okay, man. Okay, you Australian. What happened to the steering? That's why I don't look at the chat. Or I could lift for the corner. Poor guy. Yeah, that's somewhere where I've found the car to slow down the most. Note, that's my new horn. I'm gonna retake that corner because it was just I lost way too much. Just a little more rewind. Too much jump there. Good, good, good. Getting there before the 2.5 minute mark. Gonna retake that. Just lost it. That's all I'm saying now. Oh, I'm gonna retake this. I'm gonna retake that. I'll just go back here. Ooh. So don't go on the hills. This thing loses it. Good, 340. Let me slow down now. And actually retake that, because I can go a lot faster through there. Okay, the worst, not the worst part, the hardest part. No part of this track is bad. There are definitely parts that I would redo, but not this part. No, don't reset me, game. Yeah, it's not far behind, but they're going everywhere. Ah, physics. Yeah, that's a big flip. Can definitely fine-tune that. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't want it to reset me. I haven't realized how big that front splitter is until now. Come on, almost there. Good. Hit it before 45. 42, not bad. It sent me all the way to the right. Don't want that. Do not want that. Have to approach from the right. So that means the jump on this checkpoint needs to be faster. Or not faster, needs to be more direct. Yeah, not missing it though. Just more direct. There we go. Hold it. There. As long as I don't hit the tree, and don't hit the tree on the right, don't hit the rocks on the left. I didn't hit that checkpoint. It was so close. Too wide. Have to approach from the left more. I feel like a rally driver. Slow down. Slow down, don't hit the tree. Go to the left of the tree. .632. That's like 10 seconds faster than what it was before. Can I hit the next checkpoint in 10:45? 10:43. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Losing frames though, quite a bit. Efficiency test is now activated. That's a tree. And that's the water. But I can still recover. The number of times I did this race, if I did this in real life, I would be dead infinitely times over. Infinity times over. An infinite amount of times, whatever it is. Okay, that tree should be breakable. Let's go back here. I need to be on the left over there. I need to be on the left. The slow down, pivot point, and gas. That's a tree. Okay, still past the 8-minute mark, so it's not going to be a fastest lap. But this is not the 8:20 mark, we're 5 seconds faster, so it's a bit of a recovery. I'm trying to see if the frames are decent. There's a tree. It's also a tree. Approaching that connection point. kind of physics is that? Okay, that's not physics. I took 2 semesters of physics. I know well enough that that isn't physics. The road is there. Brake earlier. It's actually a better... Okay, so far, that was actually excellent. It's the best forest entrance I've ever done. Straight through there, wow. Hit the tree. Still, at the 920 mark. I'm at the 920 mark. And I'm almost at the water. So that's pretty good. But now I have to get through that wall of trees. An option that I have is slowing down completely, so that I have more time to actually take that entrance. Can I hit this in 9:45? Not if I hit that tree. Oh, it's close. It's pretty good time. If I can do a recovery later on, it could get pretty close to 12 minutes. But I'm hitting this at 9:44 rather than 10 minutes, or 10:05 or 10:10. So it's pretty good. I'm quite happy about it. And my aim is to hit the checkpoint after this one. I have to rewind again. My aim is to hit the checkpoint after the coming one at 10:20. The fastest I've done it is 10:15. What? I hit it at like 10:05. What's going on? Maybe 9:20, not 10:20. Okay, this is weird. I may have set a new fastest lap. Okay, that's too much speed lost. Come on, no time. Ah, that's way too much speed lost. I have to enter earlier. There we go. 200 miles an hour rather than 160. at some point the game decides to not allow me to rewind near the end of the track. So I have to perfectly execute this. Not my fastest lap time, but a 12:04 will suffice. Hopefully you all like this live stream. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, leave a comment down below if you do so desire. This was really fun. 12:045. But yeah, time to get those credits and level up. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next live stream. Goodbye.